Dharma teachings give us a great insight into true freedom, stepping away from the materialistic world and seeking something more deeply within us. See, we think of freedom as something that's outside of us. Freedom to go where we want, the way we dress, who we want to marry, who we can be friends with. Although that freedom is important, the true freedom lies in the ability of the mind. See, the mind has the power to imprison you or free you. You can have all the freedom in the world. You can go to any pub, to any country, but if your mind tells you that you will get sick if you step outside of those doors, you're not free, even though you have freedom. Actual freedom comes from the mind. So in essence, what I'm trying to say is, let's recognize the power of the mind, and I'm going to give you a few examples. See, the phrase mind over matter is not just a phrase that is factual. Think about it. If you close your eyes and you're visualizing walking to your fridge, opening your fridge door, getting a lemon, cutting the lemon, the saliva in your mouth goes crazy. That is because the body cannot differentiate between memory, imagination, and reality. In the cases of PTSD, the body doesn't know the difference between a memory and reality, and therefore acts as if it's happening. The traumatic experience is happening all over again. The body reacts to that. See, human beings haven't biologically evolved that much. When it comes to stress, when we are stressed, our fight or flight response kick in. So when a bill is late, the mortgage is due, your child is crying, the mother-in-law came over before calling, whatever the reason for the stress, the fight or flight response is in full motion. So what does that mean? Your pupils enlarging. Blood is taken from the guts and pumped into your muscles so you can run or fight. The heart is beating faster. Adrenaline is released. But you're not in danger, and you don't need to run. So there's an epic spike of up and down, and this constant up and down, because of the constant daily stress, causes additional anxiety. In other words, your body is almost imprisoned by the mind. Now let's talk about emotions, which is also what the mind controls. Let's just talk about anger. Anger promotes ignorance, reduces tolerance, sympathy, compassion, and selflessness. It increases worry, hatred, jealousy, and fear. If you're continuously angry, you will also lose your health. Heart palpitations will occur, blood pressure rises, the stomach secretes excess gastric acid, which can lead to ulcers. In Chinese medicine, anger decreases qi, which is the life force energy. It causes an imbalance in the body, where your organs are normally harmonious, they're now more susceptible to disease. In short, anger is like drinking poison and wishing the other person to die. When the mind is stuck in constant fear, anger, and worry, you are not free. You are a prisoner of your own mind. So now that we know that, how can we take that control? How can we change the mind? It takes dedication, commitment, and time, and it can only be done one way and one way only: meditation. See, we see these people sitting on the telly with their shaved heads, orange robes, straight backs, and they sit there for hours, and we think we can't do that. As soon as I sit down, I'll think about the dinner. Or, what am I going to wear tomorrow? Oh my God, I forgot something on Tuesday, 2 o'clock, 15 weeks ago. But that is what the mind is supposed to do. Your mind is supposed to bombard you with thoughts. If it wasn't doing that, something is wrong. Something would be wrong. So it's a healthy mind. And this is where we need to understand the nature of the mind. The purpose of meditation and how to do it is this. You have to recognize that you are the sky and your thoughts are the clouds. Watch the clouds pass. Remain the sky. Do not cling on to the thoughts. Don't procrastinate the thoughts. Don't chase after them. Don't get emotionally invested in them. Just watch them pass. But the actual purpose of meditation, and this is Buddha's teachings, is to recognize there is thought 1 and thought 2. And there's a gap between those two thoughts. Widen it. Find the gap, sit in the gap, and widen it. Every time, over and over and over again. Now you might only be there for 1 millisecond in that gap, but in that 1 millisecond, you will find peace. You will find control. You might even find knowledge. So what will we achieve by practicing this? We will achieve by recognizing our emotions and detaching from them. We won't let emotions control us anymore. We will control the emotions. But it will also promote finding a root cause of that emotion and dealing with it instead of just dealing with the end result, such as anger. You might feel anger coming on, but this time you don't actually get angry. You think, where does my anger come from? Where is it rooted? You might find your anger is actually based on sadness, and all it takes is a conversation. Controlling the mind will allow you to control your emotions. See, it's very hard to penetrate a controlled mind. Not the media, not the government, or an abusive partner can control your mind because you are in control of it. Practicing meditation on a daily basis, 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night, will prevent and cure anxiety and depression. And actually, a couple of nights ago when I wrote this speech, I rang a friend of mine and I said, will you just listen to my speech? Is it coherent? Does it sound okay? Because I was very worried. So I told him the speech and he said, oh, actually, that reminds me of my experience. And so he told me his experience and I said, oh my God, please, Tom, can I add this on to my speech? And he said, go on then. So he told me that he suffered from an autoimmune disease called ankylosing spondylitis. And it's supposed to be for life. He said, the doctors told him you have it forever. But he went off and he kind of started to get into yoga a little bit and subsequently into meditation. And after several weeks of meditating every day, quite heavily and being really deeply invested into it, he was told that, well, he was asked, where did it go? Where did your disease go? And he said, I don't know, it's gone. And the doctor said, well, what did you do? And he said, well, I meditated. And that, when he told me that story, I thought about another woman who I'd met. Her name is Lisa. She had stage 4 cancer, and she went down to Thailand into a retreat where it was all like plant-based foods, and all they did was yoga meditation, but majority meditation. And she said, now remember that the mind does not differentiate between imagination, memory, or reality. So she said what she did was she sat down in her meditation and she visualized her body attacking her cancer. And her body subsequently did. And when she came back from the retreat, and she came back early, she got the all clear. The power of the mind, ladies and gentlemen, is not just to imprison you or free you, but it's between health and disease. Before we go, I want to leave you with a saying by Rumi. Yesterday, I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today, I am wise, so I'm going to change myself. Thank you.